What is up, everybody? Smashy here, ready for another episode of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. This is episode 6. It has been an awesome run. I am loving this game. It is so good, fantastic, 10 out of 10. Every run seems to be a really excellent adventure. It's really nail biting to get through each one. We're running hot. We haven't had a death yet. We're gonna keep that streak going. But yeah, let's jump right into it. Taking a look at our new gear. So we got a ton of new gear, and by a ton I mean three. But it was one of them was our first epic gear, so we haven't had one of those yet. So that's a level up for us. Let's. This is kind of weird. I don't have all the classes unlocked, so it kind of looks funny. But oh no, did it? I just did a smart equip, but doesn't always do the smartest choice. It doesn't look like they put anything new in, so let's go ahead and go through our new stuff here. So, our new epic gear that we got is the Elite Targeter. We would have to replace our custom grip, but it's going to give us 3.8% damage increase, a 2.5 weapon range increase, and a 1% fire rate. And then whenever, or you get 20% reload speed for 15 seconds when a boss spawns. So definitely has a lot going on. As far as making that switch, we would be losing a little bit of damage, not very much, so still get to keep at least some damage. We would take more weapon range, which is pretty useful, and then we would also increase our fire rate by 1. Um, I'd say, yeah, let's go ahead and let's give this one a shot. I kind of like that it has the additional bonus of just 20% reload speed for 15 seconds when a boss respawns. So, I think that one's pretty good. So this one is, so we got a trusty canteen. We would be getting rid of our strange mixture, but it gives us 1.9 status effect damage, and then a 3% explosion radius. And then, in addition to that, you get zero point 0.5 explosion radius per red sugar collected. So that is a little bit better than what we have right now. So we'll go ahead and switch that one out. Next one is a Sonic Sugar Scrambler. So it's going to give us 1.7 to mining speed and a 2.6 pickup radius. So that's pretty good. So those are two improvements. It's almost the same thing as our Nitra Aid blender. So I think I'm gonna stay with our Nitra Aid blender for this one, just keeping that 2% weapon range. It's not that much, but I think it'll add up. Alright, so that's all we have for there, so we'll go ahead and sell these. We're not interested in those. We'll go ahead. Smart equip. I think I can do that, right? If all I have, yeah. Because if the only gear I have is the only gear I can equip, using the smart equip automatically equips it. Alright, let's look at our upgrades. Looks like we only have one increase here to fire rate in this column. In this one we have the choice between a pickup radius or a potency. I'm going to go ahead with the pickup radius. And then in our last one, we can increase our luck, movement speed, or artifact reroll. So I've been kind of underestimating this reroll. Maybe we're not at that point in the game yet. Maybe we can just take whatever it is. But later in the game, this becomes much more relevant. But I guess right now, we'll just stick with our luck. Maybe we should have taken movement speed. I'm going to say that every single time. Alright, but let's jump in. Alright, we're at 14 little pips down here in our progression. I'm still not quite sure what those are called, but we at least did all of these, and now we are on to the gate. Ooh, so this is brand new. So this is a new thing. So beyond this gate lies the next sector, Enriches Untold. However, scans detect a massive outbreak of glyphid activity, far beyond the usual norms. If you want to punch through this horde, you'll need to use every trick in the manual. So this is essentially what is going to unlock Hazard Level 2. It's going to be done on the Magma Core. And there's a couple quirks that go for this run. A couple of, I think they're called anomalies. So mandatory pep talk. You get a 10% XP gain and a 10% mining speed. Fantastic. We love that. So what are the negatives? The negatives are you get a gate outbreak 1, which is massive glyphid activity. So I think that just means you get more units or more aliens coming at you. And then Omega grunts. And so I guess the grunts specifically are going to have um, higher HP, higher damage, and higher speed. Dang. So this is a challenge. This is definitely a challenging one. We are gonna jump into it to what we know we are familiar with. We haven't quite unlocked our level 18 yet. What are we at? 14? Yeah. But we're still gonna do it. There's no other goals besides just survive the run on this. Like there's no like things that we need to achieve, so we can really just do whatever. But I think doing it with what we are most comfortable with is probably the our best bet there. So jumping into it, let's start this game. Frozen bugs can't hurt you. Run past them at your leisure. I will do that. Alright, so right off the bat, we get a door prize. It's the worst of the door prizes, which is a bunch of Morkite. The company might love it. I think it's annoying. I don't know what to say about it besides that. Got some meta up there, but we're not too interested in that right now. So we have increased mining speed already, but we're going to go ahead and take this one again just to try to gather these resources as quickly as possible. It is unfortunate that we didn't get a damage increase right off the bat. Oh, look at that. So we just leveled up. We have a 15% damage increase to the GK2, 10% fire rate for the GK2, or 3% critical strike chance. We're going to take that 15% damage to the GK2. Alright. Oof. So that guy already hit us. We know we're going to need some movement speed to be able to get through this one. We leveled up again, so leveling up very quickly thanks to that anomaly, but we got 3% critical strike chance. We got 15% reload speed, or maximum of 30 health. We're going to go and take the reload speed, just try to get some of our numbers up. Kind of feels like it's going to be easy to get overrun in this one, so we're going to keep moving forward. Staying focused, trying to gather resources. We're going to take this meta one here for pretty much just for the XP. We had a little bit of distance, but at least we're maximizing what we're doing with our time here. Alright, so we are moving on to our level 5. We just got our new weapon, and we need to decide kind of what direction we're going to go in. So we had the M1000 last time. We've had the Voltaic Stun Sweeper before, and we've had the jerry-rigged boomstick. So we have a little bit of familiarity with all three of these weapons. Let me double check my gear just to see if I have any like added bonus for any of those things. So it looks like just damage, reload speed. Yeah, so it looks like I just stuck to just have damage and range increase. And so I guess the one that affects that the most is probably, well, I guess it affects all three at the same rate. With this, I'm going to look. I have the most pips in common with my GK2 with the M1000, so I'm going to go ahead and take that just to increase our chances of being able to share upgrades. I can see there's some meta minerals down here, or not meta minerals, it is just straight up gold. Nice. Hopefully we'll be able to get some good levels up and thin out this herd here. Well, we did find another vein of Morkite, so that's great because it helps us complete our goal. Now we don't have to worry about that. Alright, see if we can go get a little bit closer. Oof, kind of rough. So we got a level up here, but we didn't really hit anything too good. We got a 5% critical strike damage, 30% pickup radius, or a 3% critical strike chance. I think our critical strike chance is at 6, so that would bring it up to 9. Or I think I'm going to go ahead and re-roll. It's hard to say. I really don't like taking re-rolls, but this is just doing nothing, and I don't know, I just feel like we haven't been making it that far. No, actually, I'm going to take the quality of life pickup radius. I talked myself out of doing a reroll. We'll make it up in the shop at the end of the level. Like, we just will. As long as we can stay focused. But we don't need to waste a reroll there. We'll be able to figure it out. I'm glad that the mining speed is kind of increased. So yeah, we couldn't mine that out fast enough, so we're gonna have to keep moving. We can double back though. Alright, swarm incoming. Alright, so what have we got? We got 15% reload speed for the M1000. We got 10% reload speed for all of our medium weapons, which is both of what we have, and then 15% fire rate for the M1000. I'm gonna take the increased fire rate for the M1000, see if we can't do a little bit more damage that way. But we're gonna have to make a pretty big circle here. Oh, look, some nitra. Nice. That's pretty good. Hopefully we can collect some before the horde gets here. All right, they're here. I'm gonna try and create a little bit more distance. Hopefully I can. Yeah, look, I don't like it when I can't kill those little guys really quickly. I did not see that explosion flower thing. Oh, boss is here. He got hit with the explosion. We might be able to get the boss with this thing. Which, that would be an interesting turn of events. Alright, we leveled up again. We have a 10% reload speed to all medium weapons. We have a 15% pickup radius, or a 25% damage on the GK2. We're just going to take the 25% damage on the GK2. Alright, and we went and we saw that boss, and we said, wow, that's a really mean looking boss, and we decided to drop a supply drop on him, and he was no longer a mean boss. He was just a squished bug. So we got the supply, and we have some jet boots, so this allows you to make a quick escape when taking damage. You get a 20-second cooldown. Interesting. Yeah, sure. I think I will take the jet boots. I've never actually played with them before, so now is as good a time as ever. So we leveled up again. We got the choice between 10% on 10% damage on our M1000 or 10% damage on the GK2. Um, I'm a lot closer to the first pip or the first overclock on the GK2, but I think taking 10% damage on the M1000 will help us long game because this one just ends up being a better weapon. Alright, that being said, we leveled up again and we have 3% reload speed for all of our weapons, 10% reload speed for just the GK2, or 15% damage for the GK2. We're going to take the damage for the GK2. Leveled up again. Alright, so we're probably just going to have a series of these, but it's going to be 5% for all my weapons, 10% on the GK2, also enabling the first overclock, or 10% critical strike damage. We're going to take the damage straight for the GK2. Excellent. So we got refrigerated gunpowder. So what that does is it changes the damage type to cold for the GK2. This is a very useful, so now we don't need to waste a weapon like to get the cryo grenade. We don't need that because we're already going to be having our crowd control through wow, that was awesome. Yeah, we're already going to have our crowd control through the GK2. Alright, so we got a loot crate. Everything in it is legendary, so we can get 45 nitra. We get 50% fire rate for the GK2, or we can get 58% damage with the GK2. I know it's weird, but I'm gonna take the 45 extra Nitra because I don't really like now that our GK2 is our kind of support weapon. Like taking the cold damage or switching the damage to a cold type really reduces its DPS, so I don't really want to focus on that. And if I take Nitra, I can essentially just get similar upgrades for a better weapon. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to level 15 before I get in the drop pod, but I'm going to try. We leveled up again. We got 15 max HP. We got 15% fire rate for the M1000 and 10% fire rate for the GK2. We're going to take the 15 for the M1000. We leveled up again, and we have a epic, which is 30% fire rate for all projectile weapons, which is everything we have. We have 5% mining speed and 6% reload speed for all my weapons, but I'm going to go ahead and take the epic here. So really got to be careful. Ooh, look, we got a magnet too, so we might get a couple extra left. Oh, wait. Okay, I am very close to not making this, and so I rerolled to try to get a movement speed. I just got one, and I am going to absolutely just book it to the thing. Alright, and we got our third one. We're going to go with Jerry Rig Boomstick. Okay, we're going to go with the fire rate. I'm still just nervous about once the thing lets go that we're just going to, like, the drop pod is just going to leave. I'm wondering if I should take another speed increase, if that would even help me. Let's see. What do I want from this? So I got 6% reload speed for all my weapons, 15% reload speed for just the GK2, or 15 max HP. None of them are really, I think because I'm so scared of these are not good either. I can't keep afford to do this. Like I can't waste all my gold. I just have to do it. Okay. I'm going to do fast hands, which is 9% reload speed for all of my weapons. Oh my god, we did make it. That was, I think I wasted a couple rolls there, but what can you do? I just felt like it was too risky to not do that. Like I just have to be able to make it onto the pod, and I wasted too much time. Well, that was a nail biter. All right, so pretty cool there. Moving into our shop, we got 25% reload speed for the M1000, 25% fire rate for the M1000, 10% fire rate for all of my projectile weapons, which is 100% of my weapons right now. We got 15% damage on our shotgun, or a legendary, which is 50% fire rate on the shotgun, which actually it's probably not that good. I think the fire rate is already pretty slow, or pretty fast on that one, even increasing it like a little bit, because it just has 2 shots, essentially, because before it reloads. So getting the fire rate increased on that one's really not that important. But also pin it because it's a legendary one. I will take the fire rate. Alright, so we can 15% damage. So essentially we're choosing whether we want knockback or we want 25% reload speed. I think I'm going to take the knockback because I can get reload speed other places. Yeah, we'll take a reroll. Oof, we'll save that luck. Or do we want the luck? I don't know. These are all just fine. I'll take this one. Some increase is better than no increase. All right. I think I'm okay moving forward here. I'm not interested in any of these upgrades, and I still have this one pinned. All right. Let's go round 2. Alright, we got some loot bugs. It's Morkite again. Bummer. Alright, go here, gather the gold, try to keep these bugs away. They are really creeping. There's some health, just hanging out there. That's always nice. Don't have to travel far for it. Alright, let's try and get these guys to explode. Alright, that was successful. Oh, these guys are super annoying. They just sit there and shoot bubbles at you no matter where you are. Bubbles like transcend time to get to you. They are crazy. I have no idea how they work. Alright, this swarm is coming at us pretty quick, so we are going to try to get out of there. These guys are going to try to hook us, but we're going to say no thank you. Not interested in that. Alright, we created a little bit of distance between us and the horde, and we were able to collect some resources along the way before we keep moving, exploring the map. Nice, we leveled up and we got a epic 20% damage increase for all kinetic weapons, which is our M1000 and our shotgun, because we changed the damage type on the GK2 over to cold. We're still gonna take that damage increase anyway. We really like being able to kill things, so, and because I'm not emphasizing damage on the GK2 anymore, I'm going to try and focus on the other ones. So even if I got to take a smaller upgrade, like, I know I'm not getting another pip, but hopefully that doesn't come to, that doesn't backfire on us, but, alright, this is a bad time to sit and stop and mine minerals. Alright, we are moving towards the edge of the map, so I got to try to keep a little bit of distance, that I'm not trapping myself. Oh wow. So this is my first time ever having those boots. It's a little bit obnoxious, but kind of cool at the same time. Uh-oh, not good. Alright, supply pod is up here. Oh look, a bunch of guys exploded. See, look, everything's going according to plan. Everything's going according to plan. We can handle this. We can get ourselves out of this. Nice, they just put a giant thing of Morkite right in the middle. That's a good thing I didn't already collect some, because if I did, I would just be annoyed. But because I didn't, it's a win. So that's a lesson learned. Just always, neglect your responsibilities, and things will work out for you. I think that's a good takeaway that you can learn from this. All right, we leveled up again. We have 30 max HP. 10% damage on the GK2 or 10% damage on the M1000. I'm taking the damage on the M1000, though I think at this point it would have been a reasonable thing to take the max HP, because one, we are low at this point, and we are taking significantly more damage. So I'm almost at the point where I'm like eyeing some of the more defensive stuff to be able to keep us alive. That being said, we have a supply pod, and we have the vitamins, we have red sugar cube, and we have the nitrous scanner. Out of those three, I'm gonna take the red sugar cube because there's red sugar on this map. That's a huge factor. But we really could use that. One, we already need the healing, so we're gonna try to find as many as we can, but then it also increases our max HP, and if we do end up taking the vitamins later, it gives us a bigger increase because it increases it by 5% when you pick it up. Alright, so we leveled up. We got a 25% fire rate for the shotgun, which I already explained. Fire rate on the shotgun is not that important. 20% damage on all projectiles, which is very important. And then 10% fire rate on the GK2. We're going to go ahead and take the epic 20% damage on my projectiles. So the big boss is out now. We were able to at least create a little bit of distance, and we found some red sugar, so that's nice. I'm going to try to come and collect this resource up here. Oh look, we got so lucky that there are a couple loot bugs right here as we try to escape the boss. We are going to have to kill him eventually because we don't want to time out here, but I think we can milk it at least a little bit. Alright, Alright, I'm really glad that we got that speed increase so that we can maneuver around the map a little bit easier. This one specifically because there's so many explodey things. You just want to be able to move out of the way quickly, and I'll be honest with you, I do not always move out of the way quickly. So, alright, so we're at the point where we gotta start dealing more damage to the boss. I think we did a pretty good job circling around and picking up all the resources that we could. Oops. We leveled up. We got a 15% critical strike damage. We have a paint job for our shotgun, or we got 15% damage on our GK2. Let's go ahead and take the paint job for the shotgun. I'm interested in leveling that up. Oh, they're sending more bugs. And we're taking way too much time. He's almost dead, though. Could really, like, while I'm looking at my weapons, and there's a pretty long reload time for the M1000. I think I would like to increase that one if I can. So just take note of that, that if we see reload speed for the M1000, to prioritize that. Cool, I don't know how I dealt that much fire damage. I don't even think I have a fire weapon. Alright, we have 10% damage on our M1000, 4% movement speed, or 10% damage on all projectile weapons. I'm going to take the 10% on all projectile weapons because it hits all three of our things. Alright, in that same vein, I guess I'll take the 10% fire rate on all projectile weapons instead of the 5% damage increase, but I think there's a pretty good argument for taking the damage there. Look, we already have another one. Alright, so we are in our second shop. Couple things going on. We got increased fire rate for our M1000. We're going to go ahead and take that now. I don't know, I'm like thinking about it, and I really don't know why I pinned this one. I guess it is pretty good, but like it's not good for us at this stage in the game, because the fire rate does not need to be increased, and wasting 38 nitra, so it's like equivalent of like 2 upgrades that we could have potentially for it, and like this fire rate is just already so low, like we don't ever really worry about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and unpin it and re-roll for that one. We have 3 other ones. I am gonna take the critical strike chance, the increased fire rate, and the max HP before re-rolling. Alright, so this is pretty cool. So we got an increased reload speed, legendary, for the GK2, that's a pretty solid upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. It does kind of make it so that we don't have any other upgrades that we can grab right now, but I think that's okay. There's another fire rate for the shotgun, so I'm not going to take that one. Alright, these are all pretty fine. I'm totally okay re-rolling all of these. We didn't do the best job at managing our resources there, but I think we are staying alive. One thing to note is we are moving into stage 3, and stage 3 is generally where I like to move away from my damage dealing abilities and start taking more defensive ones. So we'll just keep that in mind as we're going, that if we see some defensive ones, that we have to start taking them eventually. We do, like the game I feel like does offer more offensive skills rather than defensive, so there's always time to make up the damage, but sometimes the defensive ones are a lot harder to find. That was weird. I stepped onto the lava and it made the jump boots go. I gotta say, I don't know. I don't think I'm a fan of the jump boots. Maybe It's a cool, I guess, like animation, but oh, I didn't even realize we're collecting flowers for this one. It should be a walk in the park. Alright, we leveled up. We got 10% critical strike damage, not really what we're doing. We do have 6 armor increase, or we could take a reload speed on our shotgun and unlock its first overclock, which is what we're gonna pick here. So, interesting. We could change the we could change the damage to cold, which isn't bad per se. because we already have another cold weapon, and we could kind of like the more we freeze people, the easier it is. I might just do that. We might just be the Ice Queens in this episode. That would be funny. Or we could change the damage type to electrical. Uh, Not really interested in either of them, but I think the cold will end up serving us more. Just being able to crowd control enemies is so big because they do they will find a way to overwhelm you, and turning them into ice cubes is one way to deal with it. Nice. So we got a couple extra flowers just on our I don't know, walk around. Nice. Supply beacon coming in. Yeah, these guys, we can't outrun them forever. Oh boy. I wish I killed them faster. What the heck? Alright, so we got a pretty big damage increase artifact here. So the 1% damage for every 5 gold I have is just, it's a steady damage increase. We're always going to be collecting gold, and we can really, I'm going to take it here over everything else. I think it's the best artifact. The other ones that are in the draw here are Nitra Scanner and the Ration Pack, which is 80 max HP and 2% life regen, which honestly, that's a good one, but I still, like, I was just complaining that we couldn't kill the little guys. We have to be able to do something about that, and so, unfortunately, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take that. We won't be able to spend our gold anywhere else because we'll be piling all of it and hoarding all of it so that we can increase our damage. Man, we are just getting hit left and right. I really shouldn't stop for that meta mineral. There we go. Alright, yeah, we gotta get out of there. Lucky for us, found some gold along the way. Nice. Okay, so what have we got? We leveled up, so we're now level 25. So we have our 4th weapon to unlock. So we have the Voltaic Stun Sweeper. It's not as bad as I thought it was. We have the Nuke 17, and then we have the Thor Bug Taser. I haven't really had much experience with the Bug Taser, but I really liked the Voltaic Stun Sweeper. However, if I take the Nuke 17, it shares the most common types with my other stuff. But I think I'm gonna take the Stun Sweeper on this one. It's the last one, and it's really kind of inconsequential. If it ends up, I don't know, doing more or less, like just I was impressed by it last time, and we weren't really doing like an electric build, but I could see it being useful in this one, especially because we are facing much bigger hordes. Alright, this is bad. They really got me in a corner. Oh, dude, this might be it. Okay. 100%. I think I should have died. But we are still alive, and we are going to figure out how to make this work. Alright. Leveled up again. I got 15 max HP, 2% movement speed, or 10% damage on my shotgun. I'm so low on health that I have to take the 15 max HP. No, it's not even close, where I just need to find more red sugar. So, I need to keep moving. This is crazy. That animation is wild. I wonder if that's going to be the death of me. I hope not. Alright, let's keep going here. Don't mind us, we're just walking through. There's a magnet over there, that could help get us out of this. Alright, so we have 3 levels up. I'm gonna re-roll. So just to let you know what I'm re-rolling, I have 15% reload speed for GK2, 10% reload speed for the shotgun, or 10% reload speed for the boomerang. But I'm much more interested in surviving right now. Yeah, see, like we had a couple re-rolls, but we didn't find any defensive ones. I'm gonna stop. I guess I'm gonna take the 15% damage on the M1000 as kind of a potentially if we live through this level, we'll be able to do something. Oh man, I forgot that made our damage go down. And I don't know if there's any red sugar left on this map. Boss is creeping in on us.
Get it wrapped up, Miner. The longer you stay, the harder it gets.
Oh boy. Alright. We got this. We'll figure it out. All hands on deck. We're gonna keep circling back. I know there's a magnet up here, and it looks like there's a decent amount of XP, so maybe we'll be able to heal ourselves. We're gonna take the 15% fire rate on the M1000. We're just gonna prioritize taking things for the M1000 right now. Alright, we have a we took a reload speed for the GK2. Oh shoot. Oh god. No, not like this.
The bugs are growing stronger.
The boss is still taking damage. So we're not out of it yet. Oh my god. That's red sugar on the ground. How are we gonna get it? We gotta get to this. Oh god, we made it. Okay. See, everything is fine.
This wrapped up soon, it's all over, Miner.
These are all, so I got a couple upgrades. I got reload speed for the shotgun, fire rate for the GK2, or potency for the GK2. I'm going to take the fire rate for the GK2. Another one, I'm just going to take another reload speed for the GK2. Taking a fire rate for the M1000 and getting another, well, this is interesting. That would make it so I have like all elemental damage. Yeah, let's just do that. So changing the damage type to fire on my M1000. We'll see how that works out. The boss is down. We're gonna take another level on the M1000 because right now we have to figure out how in the world we are gonna get to that drop pod. Oh, and we're just gonna casually just get hit in the face. Oh my god, this is wild. Nope, that was it. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote, boys. That's all she wrote. Alright, what'd we do? We got a gear level bonus. Okay, so this one was good. New weapon unlocked. The Arctech Cryo Guard. We had some new gear that we found, so it wasn't completely useless. And yeah, that's a pretty good one. That way we don't feel so much pressure to always keep living. But it is sad that we made it so far. But we kind of felt it that we weren't dealing enough damage. That kind of moving towards those elemental damages really hasn't been helping us too much. I feel like every time we do, I feel really underwhelmed with it. Yeah, this guy just wasn't doing enough damage. It's really good like late game, but I guess maybe it did take a huge hit. But yeah. Here we are, trying to survive the swarm. See you next time.